Hey everybody, we're going to move on to section 2 of chapter 10, and we are on multiplying radical expressions. We are also watching Mary Poppins Returns in the background, so if you're, a Mary Poppins fan, then this is right up your alley. It's what you do, guys. All right, so we are in 10-2. Multiplying radical expressions. Now, what we're going to do is pretty much exactly what we've been doing. Except you're going to have like two radicals. And you notice down here, right here, there's an example. Step 1, multiply the outside number with the other outside number. Okay, so outside number with outside number. Let's zoom in so we can see a little bit better here. All right, and then you're going to multiply the inside number with, you guessed it, the inside number. So outside with outside and inside with inside. Number 2, you are going to reduce the radical the same way we've done in the past two lessons. And then you are going to multiply your outside numbers together, and you're going to multiply your outside numbers together. Okay, outside, because we're already going to take care of the inside. So let's take a look at the first example. So the first thing we do from these two items here is we multiply. We're going to do 4 times 6 because those are the outside numbers. That makes 24. And the other thing we're going to do is 5 times 30. And that's where I get my 24 from, and that's where I get my 150 from. So the next thing we do after that is we need to think about what goes into 150. And if we use that chart that we had from the other day, we would notice that 150, I have my calculator. Take a look, you do 150 and you divide by 25. You get that magic 6. Now, why did we pick 100? Why did we pick 25? Because 25 is a perfect square root. So we bring down a perfect square, bring down that 24. 150 becomes 25 and 6. Now what we need to do, guys, is take the square root of this 25. So bring down that 24 again. The square root of 25 is 5, and the 6 stays trapped inside. Then we're going to grab our calculator, and we are on step 3. We are going to multiply 24 by 5. 24 by 5. And 24 by 5 gives us 120. So let me go back to my notes. So these two items make 120, and the square root of 6 just drags down behind it. So please notice how we multiply outsides together, and then we multiplied insides together. Okay, and then we found our perfect squares, and then we reduced. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is try this again. So, if we look at number 1, you might say, ooh, there are no outside numbers to number 1. There sure are, guys. There's a 1 in front of this square root and a 1 in front of this square root. So when we multiply the outside times the outside, we do 1 times 1. So we get an answer of 1. And now what we need to do is multiply 8 times 32. So I'm going to get my calculator. 8 times 32. 8 times 32 is 256. Maybe I'm just going to double check. 8 times 32, guys, 256. So we are going to write that those two are 256. And now you should have your square sheet very handy. Now, when I say the square sheet, I mean these. I'm trying to find them from yesterday for you. Ready? These ones right here. You always want to have this super handy. Okay, so let's go back to the notes for today because we should have all that other stuff all done. All right, so 256. First of all, let's check if 256, I wish I could get rid of that. There we go. Let's check if 256 is a square root. Oh, look at that, guys. So I checked. I was like, I wonder what the square root, let's clear that out. Wonder what the square root of 256 is. And, oh my, okay, 256, the square root is 16. If that happens, that must have been on my list. So I'm going to drag this 1 down, which I know really doesn't do anything. And you guys hear, wow, my kids are enjoying Mary Poppins. The square root of 256 is 16. So when you multiply 1 and 16, you get a total answer of 16. Now you might be questioning, how important was that 1 in the front? Not very important. But when we get to a problem like number 2, we're going to need to multiply our 1/3 times our 1. So 1/3 times 1 is still 1/3. And now what we need to do is multiply this 6 and this 24 together and put the answer in a square root. And I bet you guys are just wishing that I would close this door so you couldn't hear my kids. And guess what? I'm going to do that. So I'm going to put the computer down. All right, there. Mary Poppins and my kids should be a lot quieter now. So we get 144. So 6 times 24 makes 144. I'm just going to see if I get lucky and see if the square root of 144 is perfect. By the way, if you're looking at your list, you should notice that, yes, the 144 is a perfect square, and I get an answer of 12. So this is really bring down your 1/3. This whole thing turns into a 12, and 1/3 times 12, absolutely use that calculator. Final answer of 4. Let's check out number 3. There is a 1 hiding in front of this 5. So I'm going to multiply my outsides number together. So I have to do 1 times 1/6. And you guys know 1 times anything is just that anything. Now, the other one that sometimes we struggle with is the 5 times the 216. So I'm going to grab that calculator I have. 5 times, what was it? 5 times 216. 216. And I get 1,080. Let's write that down, and then let's see if we got lucky. Let's see if that's a square root. Remember, if I get a decimal, I'd be sad. Okay, time to be sad because that is a decimal, which means I have to do that really long process. So grab your sheet and let's divide 1,080, just making sure I have the right number, divided by, you know what, I'm going to try the first perfect square that comes to mind. Oh, let's do 400. That's a perfect square. Definitely not it. Let's see. Let's do 1,080 divided by, let's think down. 361. No, that's a perfect square. So these aren't working very well, just me guessing. So what we should probably do, which I know we don't always love very much, is we should probably go to this list, kind of look this list over. Let's try. Okay, so I have my list. When I flip back and forth between my screens, it won't be